Welcome, folks. We will call our meeting to order, and we'll start with our land acknowledgement. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki and the district of Sipekne'katik, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. East Hants further acknowledges the 50 African Nova Scotian communities whose 400-year history have contributed to the province's culture, history, and legacies. We are all treaty people. And I would just say we have had word from Councillors Perry and McPhee that they are running late, but they hope to join us shortly. Next, we'll have a moment of silent contemplation. Next, I would be looking for the approval of or amendments to the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Moved by the Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Motion is carried. Next, I'd be looking for the approval of the minutes of the November 21st, 2023 regular meeting of Council for Policy and in camera and November 29th, 2023 regular meeting of Council.
Seconded.
Moved by Councillor Mitchell, seconded by the Deputy Warden. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Motion is carried. Forgot my bling a second. Next, I will be looking at correspondence for information. And you have this before you. Does any councillor want to draw particular attention to any? Councillor Mitchell.
Item number 46, the 13,700 ACOA funding under the ICF. Would comfort centers have to apply for that, or could fire departments apply for the TMR2s?
Through you, Madam Warden, that particular grant is for the municipal emergency operations.
Okay. Thank you. That's all.
And those funds are for next year's budget.
Okay.
Anything further under correspondence for information? Going once, going twice. Councillor Musa.
Item number 28. The board approved the polling district review application. Are we going to be posting that online, like on our website?
CAO?
Yes, we can post that. We'll have information with the election as we get ready for the election as well.
Maybe before the election too, like.
Well, absolutely. This will get posted before the election, but it'll be part of the
Okay.
communication of the election because people need to understand that their boundaries have changed. So that'll be part of our communication plan as well.
Thank you.
Anything else under correspondence for information? Seeing none, we will move to correspondence for decision. And Councillor Mitchell has asked if we would consider rescheduling or canceling the January 23rd budget meeting because it conflicts with the library board meeting. And I apologize, I intended to raise this in committee day and I forgot. Councillor Mitchell.
Yeah, speaking in support of either changing or canceling or rescheduling based on the fact that it's a regular meeting night for the library board. And also, I'd like to be there for the budget meeting, and Council Perry's going to be away at that time, so if we could schedule it or cancel it, it'd be appreciative. I looked at the 2022 calendar, and budget didn't start until February of last year. So that's my request for the library board. It's difficult to maybe get a quorum if Council Perry and myself as the chair aren't available.
Wade, you wanted to comment?
Yes,
Oh, I thought you Wayne.
Sorry.
okay, thanks. I had a look at what we've already got scheduled for January and February of '24 in relation to the budget sessions. So in addition to a session we have scheduled for January 16th at executive, and also assuming we'll do so on February 20th at executive, we already have 5 dates, including the 23rd, set aside for budget discussions. And my thoughts are that I think we could likely cancel the 23rd because we have all these other dates. I think it's important that the CAO comment, though, since this would be my first year doing the budget. See her thoughts?
I agree.
All right. Deputy Warden.
I would move that we cancel the January 23rd budget meeting.
Seconded by Counselor Rhino. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Question?
Question has been called. And the motion is passed unanimously. And Counselor Mitchell.
On behalf of the library board, I thank council for their consideration.
And that concluded correspondence for decisions, so we will move into committee reports, going first to Counselor Perry for corporate and residential services.
Thank you, Madam Warden. The committee held its regular meeting on December 12th, 2023 in council chambers. The following motions are coming forward as a result of an in-camera session during that meeting. Land issues, former Lance and Elmsdale school sites. In 2021-2022, council approved a multi-year project for feasibility.
No.
Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Fire Smart, okay. Sorry, I didn't look up there. I looked how they were on my desk. My apologies. Committee held its regular meeting on December 12th, 2023 in council chambers. No motions are coming forward as a result of that meeting. Presentation. Fire Smart, Kara McCurdy, DNR. Kara McCurdy from the DNR Department of Natural Resources gave a presentation titled Fire Smart and dated for 2023. A copy of the presentation was attached to the agenda and available to all call committee members. Fire Smart is a program that offers resources to help Canadians understand wildfires and what can be done to decrease the risk of property loss. Ms. McCurdy is trained in wildfire risk assessment and has been working with municipalities to perform assessments and assess risk mitigation. As chair of the committee, I move the adoption of this report.
Seconded by Counselor Head. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Motion is carried. So that concludes corporate and residential. We will now move to Counselor Garden Cole. Oh, sorry, before we move on, you had a question, Counselor Rhino?
Yes, with regards to the Fire Smart presentation that we had in chamber here, they talked about training Fire Smart people, like the fire departments, anybody in the fire department. I wonder if would that be something our fire inspector should be trained in as well?
John?
Or perhaps he is now, I don't know.
Through you, Madam Warden, perhaps, but we have one fire inspector, and he's got a portfolio of almost 900 buildings that need to be inspected on a constant basis. So I don't think there's existing capacity in that position to do that work. What we did intend to do, though, is that information is going to be forwarded to the MO Planning Committee. And I think there'll be some discussion about prioritizing communities in East Hants for assessments, and hopefully get DNR to do a few more assessments within East Hants. And, you know, what we'll do with that information, I'm not sure, but that's the
Well,
plan.
I'm glad to see that presentation's just not gonna be shelved then. If from what I'm understanding you saying, it's not gonna be shelved, you're gonna probably act upon that in some form, and I am pleased to hear that. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go to Counselor Garden Cole for infrastructure and operations.
Can I just get it one size bigger? That's great, thank you. The committee held its regular meeting on December 12th, 2023 in council chambers. There are 4 motions coming forward as a result of that meeting. First item, exit ramp challenge. Council approved a 3-year pilot program, 2021 to 2023, to combine support for community groups looking for fundraising options and to tackle the issue of roadside litter. The East Hants Exit Ramp Challenge launched spring 2021, where community groups that cleaned an exit ramp would receive a $500 grant. The pilot was successful. The Infrastructure and Operations Committee recommends to Council that Council direct staff to add $9,000 to the $20 to the 2024-2025 budget for the East Hants Exit Ramp Challenge. As chair of the committee, I so move. Whoops, not quite.
Seconded by Counselor Hebb. Counselor Rhino.
Well, as stated in this, I believe that this is a great program, but I do not believe, with what we're gonna head into, budget discussions. I know we have the opportunity to take it out, but I'd rather not see it there. For the reason is just that this is gonna be a hard-nosed budget, with the conditions of the economy and conditions of out in the community. And, if we kept it the same, I'd be happy, but I can't support it the way it is. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Question's been called. And the motion has passed by a vote of 9-1, with Counselor Rhino voting nay. Back to you, Counselor Garden Cole.
Second item, recycling processing contract renewal. East Hants ships recyclables to the Municipality of Colchester Recycling Facility for processing under contract. The current contract term expires March 31st, 2024. December 1st, 2025, Nova Scotia will be moving to an extended producer responsibility system where the cost of processing recyclables will be managed by the producers, thereby reducing costs to municipalities. The Municipality of Colchester has provided a contract renewal to bridge their customers from April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2026 to allow coverage up to and including launch of the new system. The Infrastructure and Operations Committee recommends to Council that Council direct the CAO to sign a 2-year contract for recycling processing with the Municipality of Colchester effective April 1st, 2024 with a rate of $165 per ton. As chair of the committee, I so move.
Seconded by Counselor Musa. Any discussion on the motion?
Question.
The question has been called. Someone hasn't voted, folks. And the motion is passed unanimously. Back to you, Counselor Garden Cole.
Third item, Organics Processing Facility Feasibility Report. Council approved in September 2023 that an update of the 2013-2014 consultant report on the management of organics at the Waste Management Center operation be completed for review in December 2023. This report has been completed. The report update was triggered by the organics transfer station cover damage that is beyond repair and was removed due to safety concerns, potential collapse. The Infrastructure and Operations Committee recommends to Council that Council direct staff to prepare a report on funding options for an organic processing facility at the East Hants Waste Management Center to include potential grant applications and long-term partners, customers. As chair of the committee, I so move.
Seconded by Counselor Hebb. Is there any discussion on the motion? Question has been called. And the motion is passed unanimously.
Item 4, construction and demolition landfill operations and second-generation landfill potential at the Waste Management Center. In July 2022, staff provided a report to Executive Committee related to changes for the management of construction and demolition materials currently landfilled at East Hants Waste Management Center. Those regulations are now in Phase 1 with plans and compliance as required by July 2024. As part of that discussion, staff were directed to return to Executive Committee on feasibility to construction a second-generation landfill, one that would receive both construction and regular waste, whereas East Hants ships regular garbage to the GFL landfill in West Hants. The Infrastructure and Operations Committee recommends to Council that Council direct staff to include in the 2024-2025 budget an evaluation of the Waste Management Center C&D landfill for current capacity, future growth expansion options under the new provincial regulations to be funded from Waste Management Center operating reserves. As chair of the committee, I so move.
Seconded by Councillor Mitchell. I would ask the deputy warden to take the chair for a moment. Just a comment, I didn't support this at committee because I would have preferred the more fulsome study for the entire second-generation landfill. However, I do believe that this is a step in the right direction, so I will be supporting the motion. Thank you.
All Warden,
That's it.
chair back to you.
Any further discussion on the motion? Question has been called. And the motion is passed unanimously.
As chair of the committee, I move the adoption of this report.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion is carried. That brings us to the Planning Advisory Committee report. Over to you, Councillor Mitchell.
Planning Advisory Committee report. The committee held its regular meeting on December 12, 2023 in council chambers. The following motions are coming forward as a result of that meeting. Number 1, ABO Wind presentation. Representatives of ABO Wind provided information on the proposed Melvin Lake Wind Development Project. Following the presentation, there was discussion and questions on the project, including community consultation and potential community benefits. Item number 2, Municipal Housing Strategy Working Group Terms of Reference. At their November meeting, Council approved the formation of a municipal housing working group to aid in the development of the municipal housing strategy. Staff presented a draft terms of reference for the working group for consideration and approval. The Planning Advisory Committee recommends to Council that Council approve the terms of reference for the municipal housing working group as presented in the staff report dated December 6, 2023. As chair of the committee, I so move.
Seconded.
Seconded by the deputy warden. Deputy warden, I'd ask once more if you'd take the chair.
Go ahead, Warden.
I will not be supporting this motion because I do not believe that the terms of reference and the membership are adequate to get a good representation of different groups within this committee. So I won't be supporting the motion. Thank you.
All Warden,
That's it.
back to you then.
Any further discussion on the motion? Question has been called. And the motion has passed by a vote of 7-3, with Councillor Rhino, Councillor Garden-Cole, and myself voting nay.
As chair of the committee, I move the adoption of this report.
Seconded by Councillor Perry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Motion is carried. Boy, I'm gonna bring chocolates more often, folks.
I'm pretty near in a coma eating them here, so.
That concludes our committee reports. We'll now go to the warden's report. I would ask the deputy warden to take the chair.
Yes, I rang the gong for you there, Warden.
Okay. All right, it's been a rather short time since our last meeting, so I don't have a long list for my warden's report. On November 30th, I did attend the funeral service of former councillor Charlie Connors. It was nice to see the turnout there, and he was certainly a fixture here for many, many years, or in the old municipal building for many, many years. Also on November 30th, I attended an evening meeting where we hosted Counselor Pam Lovelace from HRM and had some good discussion on mutual things of interest with HRM. And at this time, I would like to move a motion, and it's simply a fill the gap type of clarification motion. So I'm going to move that the CAO bring back an update to Council's procedural policy clarifying the roles of individual councilors and council when corresponding with other levels of government.
Second. Moved by the warden, seconded by Councillor Perry. Is there any discussion on the motion? Oh, Councillor Rhino.
I haven't had time to divulge this. But the purpose is,
I would like the CAO to bring back a report on our council procedural policy, which clarifies the roles of council versus individual councilors when corresponding with other levels of government. And I think that when the report comes, it will be better understood, and any debate can certainly happen at that time.
okay,
All, Councillor?
I guess.
You know anyone else? Be looking for the question? Question's been called. We'll go to the vote. And the motion is passed unanimously. Is that all, Warden?
Not quite. I would just like to take this opportunity to wish holiday greetings to all. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever holidays folks celebrate, I wish you all the best. If people don't celebrate any holiday, I just wish you a time of peace and joy over the next little while. I would also like to thank Council for their support and their efforts to continue to serve the residents of East Hants in a year that provided many challenges. I would like to thank staff for all their hard work and dedication throughout the year. As I said before, this was a year of many different challenges. It was not an easy year, and I just want to commend each and every one of you for working hard as we worked our way through it. It's certainly appreciated by me, and I believe appreciated by the public. And I just want to pass thanks along. And once again, all the best for the season. Thank you.
Hey, pass the chair back to you, Warden.
Thank you. So that brings us to business from councilors. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. I can never remember where I started. I started there last time, so we'll start with Councillor Rhino this time.
Thank you, Madam Warden. And not too much to report. I also attended the funeral and the reception for former Councilor Connors, and he will be sorely missed in both communities of East and West Hants. On December the 15th, I had the opportunity to present a golden anniversary, 50th anniversary certificate to Carol and Gary McLaren of Maitland, which was quite a pleasure, and they were very happy in receiving this. And I also would like to wish everyone around, staff, residents, and council, a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Garden Cole.
Thank you, Madam Warden. I don't have a lot to report from District 1 as well. I did issue a certificate, a birthday certificate to a District 1 resident. Florence Benry turned 95. She's a lifetime resident, actually, born in Belknap and resides in Enfield. And yeah, she's in excellent health, and she's an inspiration with 14 children. So it was my pleasure to do that. As well, I'd like to wish fellow councilors, staff, and all the residents of the municipality of East Hants a Merry Christmas and a peaceful and safe holiday season. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mitchell.
Thank you, Madam Warden. I too attended the meeting with Councilor Lovelace of HRM for a good discussion. On December 2nd, I participated in the Christmas parade and walked along with MLA John McDonald and try to see if he could keep up with us young people. On December the 6th, I presented a certificate for the 50th wedding anniversary to Stephen and Carol Bayless, married on December 1st, 1973. December 11th, attended the Sportsplex Budget Approval Meeting. December 14th, the Equity and Community Wellness Committee met, which is a advisory committee for the NSFM. December 18th, we had our library board meeting and talking about the executive director and the chief librarian that we were pursuing. The AGM was scheduled for that night for the Sportsplex, but it's been postponed to December 15th. The last 3 Wednesdays, the 6th, the 13th, and the 20th, I've been making a visit to the library headquarters in Truro to sign checks for bill payments to get them done before the holidays. Elmsdale Fire would like in the budget for next year to have a provision for adding more dry hydrants and hydrants throughout East Hants. They wrote with Adam and looking at some dry hydrant locations and think there should be some more. They looked at the one on Belknap Avenue at the corner of Belknap and the Garden Road, but we didn't know how deep that was. He asked me what I thought, and I thought it was only 3 to 4 feet because it was a skating pond and it wouldn't be suitable. I had also a call from a resident on the Garden Road who asked questions on accessory dwellings and garden suites. Concerns were about matching colors on the existing residence and the garden suite, the size of the garden suite and the setback, so I referred him to staff to get the answers. And on behalf of myself, my family, I wish all councilors a Merry Christmas. I want the director to pass on to staff for their hard work, and for those watching on YouTube, have a merry and safe Christmas. Be well and be safe. And that's all, Madam Warden.
Adam, you wanted to comment?
Thank you. Through you, Madam Warren, just some additional information for council on the dry hydrant conversation. The chiefs for East Hants had their quarterly chiefs meeting early December where they're going through a process of looking at their dry hydrants, specifically kind of in the rural area, just to look at potentially any gaps and so forth. And what I said at that time, once they meet, and they've even established a subcommittee to look at dry hydrants, once they establish kind of their gaps, if there's a conversation that needs to be had with council, we could absolutely bring that forward through them. So it's a really broader conversation I think the fire service is having, especially with what has transpired this last springtime with the wildfires in Nova Scotia. So it's really having everyone take a step back and just looking at their services within the areas. And then specifically with the local Elmsdale department, I did meet with the chief last week. We looked at two locations, and that's specifically because we have 2 open land files that council has motions on the books for. I won't go into details with those land files, but seeing if there was an opportunity there for hydrants for them, not for a municipal service, but for them. And then if anything did materialize, I would bring that back forward through council. So more of just an informal connecting the dots kind of conversation with our local services based on open files that we have on council. So that's kind of that. I don't think at this point in time we would suggest at an administrative level to add anything in your draft budget for dry hydrants. I think that really needs to come from the fire service first to council or through the fire advisory committee, and then you would have that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Eisner.
Thank you, Warden. Went to a church supper at the fire hall, which was very nice. Helped set up for the H-Horn. They had a sing-along there, kind of young ladies there singing Christmas songs. Went to the Enfield Legion for historical tea. They raised money to sell sweets and stuff. That was nice. Went to the Christmas parade. Tried to get Norval to shake my hand, but he was busy. I'd like to thank staff for helping me out with this boundary line with this resident that he really didn't know about the pictures and all that kind of stuff from this, from the online stuff, so it really helped him out for him to be able to get that off his chest. That's about it for me. Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to all.
Counselor Hebb.
Thank you, Warden. Also attended the meeting with Pan Lovelace, and I participated in the parade, the Christmas parade from Elmsdale to Enfield, and the weather wasn't that great, but there was a lot of participants and a lot of people out there, which shows it's a great annual event that I hope it'll continue on. And kudos to the people that organized that and arranged that to happen. Just like to wish all counselors and their families and all the members of East Hants a very good Christmas and Happy New Year, and be safe. And I have a recommendation for staff, for your people that work under you and you people yourselves, that it's been a very trying year. Wildfires and floods and wind damage, and you add that with all the stuff that goes on in East Hants. It's a growing municipality, so you're tremendously busy. You put a lot of long hours in there, and it's certainly recognized by us for sure. So I would like for you people to, in your time off, to sit back and put your feet up and enjoy your company with your friends and neighbors and your family. So, thank you, Warden.
Counselor McPhee.
Thank you, Warden. Yes, I also attended the meeting with Pam Lovelace about transit, and I know there are people in my district that are very interested in that whole program or initiative. Also attended the Christmas tree lighting in Shubby on the December 1st, and the weather was very good. It was an excellent fireworks display, which the large crowd really appreciated, and I'd like to thank the Shubnagny District Fire Department and all those who were involved with organizing the tree lighting. And on that theme, I had Christmas dinner tonight with the Shubnagny District Fire Department. Boy, what held me up, kept me a little long tonight from getting here, but it was great, a great meal, and I thank them for inviting me. And appreciate all the work. And this year with the wildfires, we really, really brought it home how important those volunteer fire departments are for everybody. Also, I was part of the East Hants photo contest judges, and it was a difficult decision to make. And I'd like to congratulate all the winners, and thanks to everybody who participated. Great, as I stated before, but a lot of great entries, and hope people continue to take part in that. And on that note, I'll just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and let's hope things go well in 2024. Thank you.
Second that, thank you. Deputy Warden Green.
Thank you, Warden. Not a lot to report. I also attended the funeral for the late Councillor Connors. He will be missed in the community, and not only a councillor, but I consider Charlie a pretty good friend. You know, for the past 40 years, I met him in my teenage years because his stepson was my best friend, and he was never shy to offer his opinion or tell you how to do something or give you a hand to do something. We had our tree lighting in Knoll on the 10th of December. We lit the tree, and I think it blew down on the 12th. And we stood it back up, and I believe it survived the last one, although the one in Kennecott has blew down twice. The wind has taken it out. But anyway, we will persevere. The one has stood back up, I believe, in Kennecott tonight, and as far as I know, ours was survived the last lashing. I too would like to take a minute just to thank the directors and staff for all the work they've done this year. It has been a trying year with everything that's gone on with that and all the public consultants or consulting on zones and everything. It was a trying time for everyone involved. And I want to thank you for all your hard work and echo what Councillor Hibbett said. You know, take this break over here, put your feet up and enjoy yourselves. You've earned it. And I'd like to also wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of council and their families, all of staff and all the residents of the municipality of East Hants.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Councillor Perry.
Thank you, Madam Warden. I too attended the library board meetings as we went through the search for a new chief librarian, and It's going quite well. Met with Pam Lovelace of HRM to talk about shared municipal priorities and needs where they could meet and cross. There's some good discussion there. I'm hoping there'll be some good follow-up and some good traction going into the future. The photo contest I thought was really great. There was buzz about it down in my neck of the woods as well. And one of the residents brought up something to me today, actually. And I noticed it as well as I drove here through Rawdon and through Belnan and everything we get here tonight is about doing a Christmas lights contest. Photos or a display during this time of year might be another good thing, because it seems like a lot of people this year have put a lot of effort into bringing some cheer to people around with their lights. And I just think might be something worthy to explore in the future, because I do know there's lots of areas that do take pride and there's local competitions amongst neighbors, but there's been quite a few very, very impressive displays this year that I haven't seen for many years. So that's just a food for thought. Again, as echoed by the rest of council, staff, you guys, as always, do an amazing job. There's been some trying times, some times that council and staff have not seen eye to eye, and we've worked our way through it. And I believe the hard work that you guys do shines a good light on us and makes the municipality better. So I really want to say thank you for that to you and all the staff, and to echo the deputy warden, the warden, Councillor McPhee, and everybody else. Take the time to enjoy it with your families. Unplug the best you can. I know in this world it's really hard to completely unplug, but unplug the best you can. Have a beverage of your choice, whether it be tea, water, or whatever, and relish in the fact that you guys have accomplished quite a lot. Us as a council, everything that gets accomplished here is through the efforts of you guys to give us the information to make those decisions, and I want to thank you for that. To my fellow councillors, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It has been a very busy year. It has been a very trying year on council. We've had lots of things to debate and lots of changes, and things have gone up and down and all around, but at the end of the year, I think if we look back on what's been accomplished in this chambers this year, it's been a lot of work and a lot of good work for the people of East Hants. I'm not saying the job is done. We have budget coming up, and there's going to be a lot of work that's going to come into that budget. That's why I'm telling staff, take a break right now, because budget, and for the rest of us, is probably going to be a couple long nights. But other than that, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a safe return in 2024, and we'll get back to work then. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you. Councillor Musa.
Thank you, Madam Warden. Jesse, we received that email about the East Uniacke Road, and you said in the 5 years capital budget they're gonna pave it.
Jesse?
Through you, Madam Warden. Yes, this past week, the province has published the Public Works 5-year capital plan, and East Uniacke Road is listed for work to happen next fiscal year. It's scheduled and tentative for next fiscal year, East Uniacke Road.
But just to the Power Road, right?
Correct. Just
Oh,
to Powell Road.
that's not good, because that's probably the best part of the road from at the road to Power Road. It's probably the best part of the road, because the rest of the road is not gonna survive another 5 years. So anyway, we could send them a letter to reconsider, or to check the road, especially at the end, because half the road have no asphalt now. So
Through you, Madam Warden, it would perhaps be an option to make a motion to advocate for the continuation of paving beyond Powell Road in subsequent capital budgets of the province, and for staff to write a letter would be an option that you could pose if you were so inclined as a councillor.
So I would make that motion.
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Perry. Any discussion on the motion?
Question?
Question has been called. And the motion is passed unanimously.
Well,
You, Councillor Musa?
I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Tingley?
Yes, I attended the meeting with Councillor Lovelace as well, and I won't speak to that any further, as other councillors already spoke to that. I attended probably our last NSFM Group Insurance Committee meeting for the year on December the 7th. And it's pretty dry stuff, but I'll take 2 minutes to give you a little information about that. This committee was struck back in 1995 because municipalities were having difficulty purchasing insurance, and if they could, they were paying a high price for it. At the time, NSFM, which was known as the Union of Nova Scotia Municipalities, negotiated a written contract with a couple of Nova Scotia brokers to be able to provide that coverage at a better price. Which before that, individual municipalities were not having the same success. So, it shows that there is success in numbers, or strength in numbers. The original brokers at that time were Bell and Grant, Fraser and Hoyt, McDonald Chisholm, all large Nova Scotia brokers, and they've since been bought up by other brokers, and mostly the two brokers that are the current brokers on the program, Gallagher and BrokerLink. The main insurer is Intact, who also had gobbled up Frank Cowan years ago, who was a major insurance broker in Canada. So they ended up with the bulk of the qualified underwriters to be able to write this type of property and casualty insurance. So the work the committee's been doing over the last year and a half or so is they've identified other potential markets where municipalities can purchase insurance. The committee's not recommending anybody go to another market or not go to another market. But personally, I think they're getting pretty good service from Intact right now, and there's not much of a reason to move. But that's up to the municipalities. The other thing that the committee does is advocate to the brokers to provide NSFM members with education, information pertaining to adequate coverage, premium rates, and how to mitigate their risks, because mitigating risks at the end of the day is what lowers the premiums. Mitigating the risks means fewer losses and lower premiums. The other thing they've done is partnered with the Institute of Catastrophic Loss Reduction and Intact Center for Climate Adaptation, and you've been seeing some information come out about that, how to mitigate floods or forest fires and that sort of thing. And we can, if we opt, share that with our residents and businesses, and that'll help them mitigate their losses. So the other thing they've been doing is monthly communication to members, coordinating quarterly webinars from brokers in those two institutions, and they've been doing surveys with members to try to identify their needs and meet their needs. So I'd just like to recognize the people that are on that committee. Mike Hatfield, actually from East Hants, is on that committee. Jeff Sutherland, CAO from Digby, Daniel Cooper from Amherst, Paul Russell, he's a counselor in HRM, Jeff Bishop, Executive Director at AMANS, Dana Coffey, Director of Policy for NSFM, Ian Morrison, Director of Communication of Operations, and myself. I've been on a few committees in the past. I find this committee is very focused, efficient, and every single person contributes to the work that's being done on the committee. It's been a good learning experience for me, and I'm not sure how much longer I'll continue in it, but I've really enjoyed it. The other thing is I attended the Sportsplex budget meeting on December the 11th. They provided us with a lot of information about the budgets for this year and next year. The bottom line is it looks like they're anticipating a net profit of about $10,000 this year. And one thing that came up in the meeting was Somebody sent me an email, sorry about that. They don't appear to be reserving for maintenance expenses, which could include large expenses for roofing, equipment, paint, wear and tear items, which I believe staff will be speaking, communicating with them about that. And our, I don't know if anybody already mentioned, but Sue Surratt is going to come on the board for the Sportsplex, which will be a big asset to them. December the 13th, attended the Lance Volunteer Fire Department Christmas Food Bank Drive. Elmsdale Fire Department assisted with that. John McDonald was there again as Santa. They gathered 40 grocery carts of food and $2,000 worth of, or $2,000 cash, and delivered it to the Infield Caring and Sharing Food Bank. A few days later, I was speaking with Pam Hutchison. I thought I'd mention this. She's, I believe, the president of the food bank, and she told me, in her words, that this year she's just blown away with the amount of support that people are giving the food bank. They had a lot of requests for from families for Christmas presents and food for Christmas and that sort of thing, and they were able to fill every single request. Finally, like everybody else, I just want to wish staff, council, and everybody a happy holidays. I think we did, or I think staff did accomplish a lot this year, and they do good work, and we appreciate all the help and support we get. That's it.
Thank you. And that concludes. Councillor Musa.
Thank you, Madam Warden. I almost forgot the most important thing to tell you. We are expecting our first grandchild on January 6th. She's going to be a girl. Her name is going to be Eli, with another L in the middle.
It's after me.
Ellie Mackenzie. She's a combination of Lebanese and Scottish. I don't know how that's going to work, but we should see. Thank you.
Congratulations, Eli.
Thank you.
It'll be great. CAO.
Thank you, Madam Warden. I just wanted to point out to Councillor Perry's brought up the light competition, the contest. The publication What's Up East Hants currently has a light competition, a Christmas lights competition going. Their nominations have closed, but they do have them on their Facebook page, and there's some from Mount Uniacke and Milford and all over East Hants. So, and they have on their Facebook page that they plan to make next year bigger and better. So it's actually quite impressive, some of the lights that they have posted on their page. So yeah, it's great.
Thank you. Well, now that concludes business from councillors. Left on the agenda is an in-camera session, 2 in-camera sessions, but both to discuss land issues. So I would be looking for a motion to move in camera to discuss land issues.
So moved.
Moved by Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Contrary? Motion is carried, so we will give direction was given to staff. There are no motions coming forward from those discussions. That brings us to the end of our agenda, except for setting the date of, and time of the next council meetings, which would be January 16th and January 24th, if someone would be prepared to move those dates. Moved by the Deputy Warden, seconded by Councillor McPhee. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Motion is carried. So this brings us to the end of our agenda, folks. I would be looking for a motion to adjourn. Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Contrary? Motion is carried. We are adjourned. We'll give